Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me. Talk to me, to me.
Hello, everyone. Hello. This is the Majestic Talk Show. I'm your host, Latasha Morgan, certified Christian life coach, certified professional life coach, board certified master Christian mental health coach, and a whole lot of other goodies, y'all. It's time for the Majestic Talk Show. We have with us Dr. Ann Burnley today, and Miss Vivian Bell. How y'all doing, ladies? You can come off mute.
We're doing awesome. Thanks for having us on the show today.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for being here. I do appreciate having these beautiful Black women on the show today. Today, our topic is mindset matters. And these are two ladies who really believe that your mindset matters, okay? So let's talk about mine. We're going to, Miss Vivian Bell is a board certified biblical counselor, master mental health coach, life coach, mental health first aider, and IAFF certified chaplain. Okay, she is the owner of Coaching by Vivian, and she owns her own podcast show, which I'm sure she'll tell you more about. Dr. Ann Burnley, MD, is here with us today. She is the GRITPRENRUR and Woman of Grit on digital. She does that on digital platforms. She's a mom, physician, and a sought-after women's empowerment speaker who immigrated to the United States from West Africa. That's awesome, ladies. Y'all have a great night. So tell us a little bit more about yourselves. And Miss Vivian, you can go first. Is what I didn't talk about, how you can let us know.
Okay, awesome. Well, Coaching by Vivian actually rebranded this week, and we are now minding what matters, because that just better incorporated all of the services that we offer as far as mental health coaching, professional coaching for businesses, our new program, Next Gen Coaching for students that we're rolling out next month. And so we just did a whole rebrand this week. So I'm really excited about that. And I just love helping people be at their very best. And I believe that starts with our minds and taking good care of that.
Awesome. That's good. What about you, Dr. Ann?
So during the day, 9 to 5, I go by Ann Burnley, MD. And online, I go by Dr. Ann, the GRITPRENRUR. And that's more or less just to keep the separation between my clinical practice and when I'm online as a women's empowerment speaker, podcaster, and the GRITPRENRUR. I say trademark, So I am passionate about women. I'm passionate about women doing well. I'm passionate about women finding their voices and, owning their power. So yes, I have a podcast, Woman of Grit podcast. And I just rebranded too.
Awesome.
I'm wrapping up season 2 And I have decided, because I'm board certified in lifestyle medicine, and that kept coming up like a recurring theme. So I decided we need to talk about that going forward. Yes.
Oh, that's good. Good, good, good. I have some bosses on the show tonight. Oh my goodness. So let's get into mindset and why it matters, okay? So I looked up some statistics. Okay. So I didn't really like the statistics, but they are where they are. The National Science Foundation says that 8% of our thoughts are negative and 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. The average person has up to 11 negative thoughts a day, including I'm not good enough, I'm overweight, and I'm not good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a poll of 2,000 adults found these thoughts would hinder their progress towards achieving their goals, with 37% feeling like they are their own worst enemy. 34% feels they are letting themselves down. However, 32% worry about disappointing others. That's a problem. Then I found that in a 2021 study, that the longer negative emotions linger in the human brain, the worse it is for mental health, which means it's also the worse it is for your health. Ladies, tell me, what do you think about that? Do you agree, disagree? What do you think?
It is absolutely accurate, and that's why mindset matters. One of my themes is mind what matters. So we have to recognize the things that are important. So there was I think your stat said like 33% of the people, or 32% are concerned about what people think of them. Those things don't really matter, because at the end of the day, for us, I believe that everyone is put on this earth for a purpose. And so in order for me to walk in my purpose, I have to know what my purpose is and understand that my purpose is bigger than me. And if I spend my time being concerned with what others might think about my purpose, who didn't hear that word from God about what he's told me to do or any of those things, then now I'm wasting my time worrying about what someone else is going to think about me. And that's why it is important that we choose what we mind. Because if I'm minding the things that are a part of my purpose, if I'm minding my time with my family, that's important. So we have to make sure that we are literally taking care of and minding what matters, because when we don't, then we are caught in the cycle of poor mental health.
Oh my goodness, girl. I love that thing about what you said about purpose, honey, because I believe that too. That's what my
Yeah.
coaching business is based on, purpose. Because if you don't know who you are, your mind will be concentrated on, you will concentrate on what other people are saying about
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
because you getting your purpose from them instead of getting your purpose from God and what he has said
Yeah.
about you. And I think that's the problem with the mind. We're more. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's pause there, because I don't want to. Let Dr. let Dr. Ann come in first before we go on with that. Go ahead, Dr. Ann.
Okay, so I was just going to piggyback off of that. A lot of times we spend time wondering or worrying about what people think of us, other people's opinions of us.
Mhm.
And while that is true, a lot of times everybody's worrying about the other person. In other words,
Right.
everybody has their issues. So you may think somebody is even talking about you. What are they saying about you? They're also wondering what you're saying about them or thinking about them. So a lot of times we get it in our head that, somebody may be saying things about us, when really it's our perception of how things are. And then, talking about mindset, Dr. Carol Dweck, who did a lot of studies about mindset, talked about fixed mindset, growth mindset, and how people with a fixed mindset who believe that their abilities, they're born with their abilities, and those abilities are unchangeable, their success over a lifetime, their earnings are less because they don't try new things. Like people with a growth mindset who believe that they can learn and improve. And definitely in the health field, mindset has a lot, because depending on your mindset, say you're facing an illness, even a very serious illness, depending on your mindset, it affects your outcome a lot of times, because there are two people may have the same problem. One has a more positive mindset, and that affects the immune system. So if your mindset is a negative mindset, it's fixed, you don't think you can get over that illness, it definitely affects your mental health, anxiety, and everything else. So yes, mindset does matter.
Yeah. Yeah. But back to Miss Vivian, and you're talking about that person. And that's why mindset, again, like I said, the mindset of a person matters because God gives us a purpose in life. Now, it's our responsibility. Well, we think that we're supposed to glean something from somebody else, or someone is supposed to tell us what that purpose is, right? We listen to this person or that person. Well, I'm gonna go to this conference over here because that so and so said this. I'm gonna pick up that. I want to be like that person over there because I like what they're doing, or I want to be like Joe Brown over here. He's making that money, but in order for him to make the money I had to operate in what he was called to operate in. He had to operate in the purpose. And his mindset is different from the mindset of the person that's looking at him and wants to be like him. So with that said, with purpose, it's imperative, it's important that we know what that purpose is so
Yes,
that we
ma'am.
can construct our mind around the purpose that we have been given. That there are many different ways to find out what your purpose is. You can find out by doing different tests. You can also find out just going to research your name. But those are ways to find out your purpose. But when you're walking, you can't fulfill that purpose without changing your mindset. So, with that said, what are some ways do you think that people can change their mindset? Miss Vivian.
Well, it comes down to a moment by moment decision. Everything in life is about a decision and a choice. So I can choose how as she said earlier, perspective and your perception is everything. So sometimes it is literally a moment by moment of making up my mind that I'm going to walk in my purpose. I will not settle anymore, whether it is in a relationship or our career or whatever it is. You have to make a decision moment by moment by moment. And so often we want to just jump into the big picture, the end result of what we think our future is or what our purpose is, and we get caught up and we become stagnant because we don't realize the importance of those small steps or what we consider to be the small steps, because all of those small steps will get us into walking in our purpose. For example, this rebranding of the business literally started probably about 5 years ago. And I didn't even realize that I was just doing little things that God told me to do. And he started talking to me about minding what matters. And so I made this logo and I started doing this thing and that thing. And now in the perfect time for my purpose to be walked out through this, God took me back to journals and our time together. And he showed me how he had already built the full infrastructure over these years of this business, because in my time with him and my going to him saying, Lord, show me what your purpose is for me. What do you want me to do in this day? I just took notes. I wrote those things down. And when he said, go back here, go do this, go grab that, it was really simple at that point because I learned to just trust what he's saying about my purpose.
Talking about purpose for me, it really crystallized for me because I think I did run away from my purpose until I heard somebody, sometimes you struggle, what is it, and for me, it crystallized when she said, right, for me, I'm serving the woman I once was. That is my purpose. I'm being that woman I needed when I was going through the challenges that I went through. So by serving the woman I once was, I'm walking in my purpose. And sometimes we run away from our purpose.
Oh, yeah.
I would not touch it. I said, I'm not going to talk about my life, what happened, my relationship, how it failed, the emotional trauma that I went through. And a friend of mine told me, well, but other people need to hear that. There may be other people talking about it, but there are a particular group of people for you. Yes. 10 women could be talking about the same thing. And you would say, oh, well, maybe it's saturated, there are so many people doing that. But there is somebody out there who needs to hear your voice. And your purpose is to go ahead and speak life into that person because you resonate with them. So finding your purpose, how sad it would be to live your life on this earth and not live your purpose. It's like you just came as a tourist and you did not live your purpose. So yeah, that's
Oh,
crucial.
that's good. That's real good.
Yeah, that's really good. Woo! I love y'all. Because you said that because Dr. Ann, you're right. A lot of times we don't think that what we have to say matters. We don't think that what God has placed in us is
Right.
gonna help anybody. I mean, what
Right.
does my pain have to do with Joe Brown over there? What does my pain have to do with Miss Sally over there? Hey, it's not gonna help her. I'm just little old me sitting in the corner in my old
Right.
little chair, staying safe. But what we do is we do that because we feel like that's a safe mechanism. We think it's going to keep us safe from experiencing disappointment, hurt, and harm, and different things of that nature. So I love what you said because you're really right. And so are you, Ms. Bell. You're absolutely correct too. Minding what your mindset matters. Yeah. I um I really do believe that. And like I said, I focus my business on finding purpose. But what I
Mhm.
found is every day, even I have to mind my mindset. Now,
Oh
there's a
yeah.
reason because every day you got to die daily, right? You got to die to yourself daily, right?
Mhm.
So there's a reason that God put in the scriptures that you got to renew your mind, right? There's a
Mhm.
reason for that because our mind is easier for us. Looking at these statistics, I can tell that it's really easy for us to think negative. It's like a piece of cake, but it's really difficult, it seems, for us to think positive. But really, all you're doing is just reversing the negative for the positive. Instead of I can't, we'll say, well, I can do this. Or I don't believe that this is going to work because I don't know what the outcome is going to be. But changing your mindset means you have to apply faith to whatever you're doing. So, can you folks elaborate on that?
Well, the letters RE at the beginning of the word renew really means just taking something back to its former state. And so when we are
Mm-hmm.
renewing our mind, we're going back to that former state of thought that we had in the beginning, before sin, before all of these things. God says, before I knit you in your mother's womb, I knew you. And so we
Right.
are taking our mind back to that place of where we knew God in the beginning, which we knew that we were enough because of the God that lives on the inside of us. We knew that we were enough because we have his purpose and that we're here to fulfill his purpose in the earth. So when we are renewing, we just remember that we're taking it back. We're making it new again. We're making our mind come in alignment with God. The Lord downloaded this definition of self-esteem to me. And he said, self-esteem is actually you agreeing with what I've said about you,
Hmm.
just coming in agreement with
Mm.
what I've said about you and accepting that as truth. And when we accept what God has said as truth, then we respond according to that truth. So we treat ourselves better. We set up boundaries that are healthy, and we don't allow people that are toxic into our in our atmosphere, into our arena, into our. They don't get into that tight circle because we choose to protect what God is doing within us and the purpose He gave us. When my son was 8 years old, he said something to me once. He said, Mom, it seems like you're going through the same things, but God wanted me to tell you that you're going through this because He trusts you in this. So God has trusted each of us with our pain, with the broken hearts, the all of the things that we've walked through, because there are people assigned to our lives that I can't reach the same people that Dr. Ann does, but she can reach people that I can't. And
Right.
Latasha, you will reach people that neither of us can. But when we're walking in our purpose and we're standing by each other, supporting each other, and all of those things, every single person who we are assigned to is going to get reached because there's no room for comparison, because we understand that I am here for this purpose. And though it might look like the same thing you're doing, I can't do what you're doing because I'm not anointed as you are to do what you're doing. And there's only one Vivian. one Vivian Bell. There's 6 others in the county, but the only one that was the daughter of my parents and the mother of my children, and the one called to be launching Minding What Matters. So if we remember those things, that can just help us a lot.
Okay.
And when you were talking, something just came to my mind. In the beginning, you talked about negative thoughts, and I saw some statistics the other day. I'm not quite sure where I saw it, but basically, for every one negative thought you have, to counter it, you need 5 positive thoughts.
Mhm.
So, as talking about renewing your mind, right? So that's where affirmations come in.
That's right.
Because you literally have to do 5 times on the positive side to counteract the negative. And a lot of times those negative thoughts are thoughts we have of ourselves. It's not even the stuff people are saying to us, just that negative self-thought. So affirmations come in, but you need 5 positive affirmations to counter 1 negative affirmation. I just thought that was important to talk about when we talk about renewing our minds. That is one way I use to counter some of the negative thoughts that run across my mind sometimes.
That's awesome. Yes, that is so true. I did not think about that, Dr. And it does say, it's like when you say in combat, that means you're going to war against whatever negative thing that is coming
Right.
against you. See, we're so conscious about going against the negative spirits. We're so conscious about, we're going into spiritual realm and doing all of this. But what about your
Right.
mind? Because
Right.
the spiritual realm operates in your mind as well. Because it depends on your mind. Your mind is very strong. It is a powerful what is it, organ in your body.
Organ,
So
yeah.
it's powerful. So people are trying to copy or trying to figure out how the mind works. So evidently it has a whole lot of power. What do you have now? You have AI, you have a whole lot of other different things. Computers are based on the mind of a human being. So your
Yeah.
thoughts are that powerful. If your mind is that powerful, think of how powerful it would be if you use your mind for positivity.
Yes.
If your mind is that
Absolutely.
powerful, think about how farther you would be than you are right now. If
Yeah.
you use the mind that God has given you, I heard somewhere that we only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah.
If 10% of our brain comes up with AI, I mean, I would love to see what we could do with 100%.
For sure. The word tells
Absolutely.
us that it is with the mind that we serve the Lord. So why would the mind not be the first thing that would be under attack, or the first thing that we will really have to make sure that we stay on top of mastering what we're minding? Because it is with the mind that we serve the Lord. I believe that the mind is something totally separate than our brain, and that it instructs our brain, and instructs our bodies, and instructs how we allow our feelings to rule us, or if we don't allow them to rule us. Because feelings, they feel real. You can feel like, as she said earlier, someone's talking about me, and in your mind you've made up this whole conversation based on just some feeling that you received, and that feeling may have triggered some other past trauma, which now has made you believe that this person is doing exactly what that last person did. And so now your mind is just spinning and spinning and spinning, but it feels real. But the word of God tells us that we are to pull down every stronghold and every thought that raises itself against the knowledge of God. And that is warfare. That is something that we cannot sit back and play around with. We have to understand that my mind determines everything. So I have got to make sure that it is being renewed every day, that I'm putting good thoughts into my mindset. And you shouldn't wait until the bad things are there and you're battling it. we all know the specific things or the ways that our minds may be attacked, or the
Mm-hmm.
inner habits that we have about our thinking. So since we know that, then we have strategies against that, and we base those, as she said, some call them affirmations, I call them declarations. I make
Mm-hmm.
declarations over my life in the morning, and if I'm busy or in a situation where I'm not able to speak those things outside of my mouth, I've recorded them on my phone, and I will stick my earbuds in, and you will hear
Right.
me talking to myself saying, that's right, girl. Uh-huh. Amen. Yes, you are enough. Yes, you are who God called you to be. And I have to prepare myself that way in the mornings, because if I don't, then those negative thoughts, those things that have just become cycles in our mindset, whether they were from traumas or just thoughts that we generated, they would take over. And because I don't want that to happen, then I'm proactive and not reactive.
And I
That's
was just
right.
picking up, yeah, go ahead. Picking up on what you said, we absolutely have to guard our minds. You know, I stopped watching network TV 3 years ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
I decided to pull back from social media very recently. This is like the first time I'm on social media. I decided to take a 30 to 45-day break from social media because I just absolutely needed to guard my mind. We have to guard our minds. You know, people have TVs in the background, but your subconscious is always listening. You know,
Mhm.
I used to be so anxious, you know, just everything going on in the world. If it's just some people just put that TV, they're sleeping, they have that TV going. Your subconscious never sleeps. Your
Yeah.
Mhm.
subconscious never sleeps. All that stuff seeps into your mind and affects you. So I made a decision 3 years ago, 4 years ago, almost. I have a TV in my room. I haven't turned it on in 2 years. The one downstairs, nobody really watches TV in my house. So actually guarding your mind, putting up a fence, you know, protecting your mind because it is always listening. It is always listening to you. So I think that is really super important. In addition to renewing your mind, as Vivian just said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that is so true. Now that's something I learned when I was younger. That you never leave. My parents used to always say you should never leave the television on while you're going to sleep because your spirit is still listening. Well, maybe the people who love to look at TV at night and they can't go to sleep unless they're doing it, find some things like abide. Listen to those
Yeah,
meditations that
yeah.
have the scripture in it. Listen to the word,
Hmm.
and I can guarantee
Yeah.
you that most of the time they ain't gonna want you to listen to the word anyway, so you'll be guaranteed to get some sleep. So, so it works all the time. So if you turn that on, get that word into you, you'll find that it'll
Yeah.
build yourself up. And we're
Right.
always wondering and you brought out a good point, Dr. Ann, the sleep part, because we always think and we look at the scripture that God says that our sleep shall be sweet, right? But it can't be sweet if you're not concentrating your mind on Him. If you go to sleep with the
Yeah.
wrong thing, you're going to wake up with the wrong thing. Whatever you lay down with or what you're going to get up with, your
Right.
parents used to say, you lay down with fleas. If you lay down with dogs, you'll get up with
You get out
fleas.
with
Yes.
fleas. Yeah.
So if you lay down with
Absolutely.
angels, you got to get up with it. And it's not just looking at TV, it's making sure that what you experience during the day has been settled. Whatever
Yeah.
problem you had during the day, whatever negative thing you experienced today, let it be settled. Whatever unforgiveness you had,
Yeah.
whatever against someone you've had, go deal with that first. That's why the Bible tells you not to go to bed angry. Why? Because when you wake up, it's gonna be worse than it was when you lay down. So, ladies, y'all have given these word people a sermon today. I mean, oh my goodness, y'all like it's like I find some my lost kin people or something. But it has
For
been
sure.
so amazing being on this show today. So before we leave, we have a little bit of time left. So before we leave, I want each one of you to tell us how we can get in touch, how the people can get in touch with you, um, Dr. Ann, you can go first. And before we leave, also, each one of you, can you also give at least one word of encouragement to the people that are listening?
Mhm.
So definitely, thank you, thank you, thank you. So my website is drahne.com, drahne.com. I'm on Instagram as dr_ahne, and that's where I'm most active. I'm not active right now. Like I said, I'm taking some time away from social media. My second season burned me out. And I just want to say that whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever you are going through, there is somebody who has been there. Reach out. You're not alone in this. You don't have to be alone in this. Like I said, my purpose is serving the woman I once was. So just reach out on my email. When you go to my website, if you have some thoughts, just drop it in there. If I can't help you, I will pass it on to somebody who can help you. But do not give up on yourself. I say it's always darkest before dawn, but light comes in the morning. So hang in there.
Yeah,
That's right.
thank you.
And well, my word of encouragement is to always remember that you are enough and to not spend time trying to be other people, because if you're busy trying to be them, who's being you? I can be reached at mindingwhatmattersnow.com. I also have a podcast called She Who Believes, and you can listen to that on any of your favorite music platforms. And all of the contact links are on my website. Again, that is mindingwhatmattersnow.com.
Thank you, ladies, so much for being on the Majestic Talk Show. This was an amazing show. I
It's
really,
a
I
pleasure.
really appreciate it. I really loved it. I really enjoyed it and had fun. But everyone, it's time to go now. I do apologize, but we have to leave. But this has been the Majestic Talk Show. I'm Latasha Morgan, certified Christian life coach, certified professional life coach, board certified master Christian mental health coach, and a whole lot of other good goodies, y'all.
Yeah.
We are on all social media platforms, all podcasting platforms, and you can visit Majestic Talks LLC at www.majestictalks.com. Thank you all for watching. You have a lovely evening. Good night.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.